my Hearthside, where I talk about my reading, writing and life journeys. And today I have a secondhand book haul for you. There was the Save the Children sale that happens sort of quarterly here and in Western Australia at the University of WA, and there was also a charity shops sort of warehouse book clearance sale, so we did a little bit of intense shopping recently there, and I'm 90% sure these are all of them. I know there is 2 that I'm missing, so I'll pop those up here. So let's dive on in, and I would love to know what the last book you thrifted was or were gifted by a friend. So let's dive on in and let me know. These are in no particular order. I wouldn't know where to start order-wise, so I'll start with the 2 I don't physically have at the moment, and one of them is The Forbidden Wolf King by Leah Stone, which is a King of Eldrin book. Because I was given it by a friend. She went, "You'll enjoy this," and gave it to me. It's nice of her. But it is book 4, so I have asked people if I actually can get away with reading that one before, if they're interconnected standalones, and the consensus seems to be yes. And the other book I picked up at one of the sales was The Beautiful Ones, Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And from what I can tell, this is a magician in like Regency era and a girl that's slightly different. I do want to get into reading Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I do have Mexican Gothic on my shelves here, so hopefully I can get to one of her books. I am trying to diversify my reading a bit. I did read a short story by them and loved their writing style, so I want to try and read a full-length novel. Next, let's just dive into what I have here in front of me on my Holly Trolley. So first I have Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. In a Frozen World, the Queen Will Rise. So this, I believe, is a retelling of the Snow Queen or the Ice Queen. But it goes, she will bring down the world. Snow barely remembers the time before she was locked in a psychiatric hospital. But when the love of her life disappears one night, Snow must follow a mysterious stranger into a magical frozen world to find him. Amidst witches, thieves, spells, secrets are revealed as Snow discovers she is the heir to the world's corrupt and twisted king. She has great ice powers of her own. As Snow faces the choices of that, she will decide the fate of a kingdom and if she can ever return to the life she's known before. Worlds collide and hearts melt in this first novel. It's the first novel in a series. So it's a retelling. And then we have another retelling by Serena Valentino. And this is Mother Knows Best. And it's The Tale of the Old Witch. So I do have this series. I'm slowly collecting them secondhand. So this is Mother Gothel's story. So these are villain origin stories or their side of their stories. So the tale can seem long and twisted as the braided hair of the center of this legend. An innocent child abruptly taken from her parents, a girl with magical hair confined to an isolated tower. Her captor, a domineering old witch who masquerades as an overprotective mother who simply knows best. But why does Mother Gothel actually know? Why would she think that a lifetime of captivity is the best thing for Rapunzel? Or does she truly want to shield the princess and her enchanted hair from the mean, cruel world? Or is there more to the story? This account digs deep into the past to find out what Mother Gothel really knows and why she believes in her heart she alone knows best. So that is a middle grade series that I'm slowly... I then picked up the 3rd book. I believed it was the 2nd book in the Legends of Fenris series, which is an epic romantasy series by Helen Schumer, which is this one. Blood and Steel is the first book. So we follow our protagonist, obviously, through the series. At the beginning, she has been given a prophecy where she will only live for the next 3 years. She wants to train with the war swords, but there's a prophecy that says that she will not be allowed to because of another prophecy that will bring down the world. So I will be getting to this one once I read the 2nd one, which is Vows and Virtues, and then move on to Fate and Furies. I'm even putting them straight on my shelf, so they're up there. I will then give you a proper shelf tour once I have built them. We built new shelves. I'm very excited. I then picked up Fragile Things by Neil Gaiman, which is a short story collection. This was before I heard about the allegations, so I am in two minds about whether or not I will continue to support Neil Gaiman. But this is a short story collection. I then picked up the first book in the Fae of Snow and Ice series, The Court of Winter by Krista Street. So being a defective marks me as, in the eyes of the Solace Fae, wingless, magicless, weak. To my kind, I'm nothing, not when the strength needed to survive this perpetual snow and ice that shrouds our northern continent is endless winter. But I am preserved, living a meaningful yet simple life with my sister until the hated crowned prince of the Winter Court thunders into our village. The prince's massive black wings and potent magic clouds my senses and steals my breath. He's beautiful yet brutal. So when he whisks me away and locks me in his castle, I'm certain of my death is tomorrow's promise. My end doesn't come, not when the prince looks at me with hunger in his gaze while revealing the true reason for my abduction. Now I'm faced with the impossible choice: either join the forces with the hated prince who's robbed me of everything I love, or watch our kingdom start a devastating war. So this is an indie pub book I'm really looking forward to diving into. I then picked up the third book in a series I have, so I do really need to get to that series. And that is the Nightshade book, and this is Wolfsbane, which is book 3, which is a werewolf book. So I can't tell you much about it because it's the third book. I then was given by someone Crave because they were unhauling a bunch of their books and knew I wanted to try and read. Now that I've heard the lawsuit about this, I might rethink it, because this follows a girl who is sent to an elite school in Alaska that is full of witches, shapeshifters, vampires. Grace is curious of her fellow students and affronted of others when she is viciously attacked. Within days of her arrival, it quickly becomes clear that someone is going to great lengths to see her dead. She's caught between the warring factions, and this is the first book in a YA series. I then picked up The Beast is an Animal by Peter Nell Elvers. I'm butchering that probably. Allie was 7 the first time she saw the Soul Eaters, twin sisters. Their radiant energy is exciting. Though through them she feels the wildness of the forest and the beast within it. Too late, she learned the power to destroy. By the time she's 15, Ellie knows too much about both the lore and the dangers of the Soul Eaters. She lives in a world of the adults who are terrified of her power and who cower behind high walls and grim rules. Fear of the Soul Eaters and the beast that rules their life, even more the fear of the ways of which the beast may lurk among them. And within a girl like Alice, has a connection to both the Soul Eaters and the beast, and she hides the truth about herself that she's revealed to no one for fear she will be called a witch. Really looking forward to getting into that. This was a slightly older one. I picked up a YA contemporary, which is Wicker King, or The Wicker King by Kay Angram. And this is, he doesn't even know what to call it. It's melting, thawing, calming brain. Who have I become? So it's a mesmerizing thriller that questions the space where reality and perception overlap. So Angus and Jack have never lived in the same world. Angus is a misfit with a pyro streak, and Jack is the golden boy on the varsity rugby team. But their intense friendship goes way back. It's something that they kept for themselves, and they rely on each other for their survival. When Jack begins to see increasingly vivid hallucinations, Angus desires to help Jack the only way he knows how, by believing him and believing in the fantasy kingdom that creeps into the edges of the real world. Jack leads Angus on a quest to fulfill a dark prophecy, and together they alienate everyone around them as they struggle with their sanity, free falling into the surreal fantasy world that feels made for them. In the end, each must choose their truth. That's quite an interesting book, I feel. We then have Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. So Ivy Gambles was born without magic and never wanted it. Ivy Gambles has an almost sustained career as a private investigator, an empty apartment, a slight drinking problem. Ivy Gamble doesn't in any way wish that she was like Tabitha, her strange, magical, gifted twin sister. Ivy Gamble is a liar. So really looking forward to diving into this one. Quickly running out of space on that shelf. I have a YA Queer Own Voices book by a West Australian author, Holden Shepherd. It's Invisible Boys. In a small town everywhere, everyone thinks they know you. Charlie is a hardcore rocker who's not as tough as he looks. Hammer is a football jock with big AFL dreams and an even bigger ego. Zeke is a shy, overachieving, never macho enough for his family, but all three boys hide who they really are. When the truth is revealed, will it set them free or blow them apart? Really looking forward to that. And then finally I have a story that I've been eyeing up. It is a translated thriller. That is Black Wolf by Juan Gomez Juro. Okay, it's a sequel. That's not super helpful, so I'll have to pick up the first one. It's the sequel to The Red Queen, featuring Antonia Scott and its most compelling and original detective since Elizabeth Chandler. Antonia Scott was the linchpin in the Red Queen project, created to work behind the scenes to solve the most dark, depraved, and dangerous. In the southern Spain, on the Costa del Sol, a king mafia figure is brutally murdered in his villa. His pregnant wife Lola barely escapes an attempt to kill her and is on the run. An unusual shipping container arrives from St. Petersburg with bodies of 9 women inside of it. So I will pick up the first book, Red Queen, and then move on to Black Wolf. So they are the second-hand books I have hauled most recently. I would like you to tell me what the book that you most want to hear me talk about is on this list. And what book you have most recently picked up from a thrift store or a second-hand sale. And I will see you soon with a new video. So thank you. Bye-bye for now.